Hare Rama Krishna, Hare Rama Krishna, Hare Rama Krishna. Good morning, friends. Today we are starting a new series on Karanas. Karana is one of the element of the Panchanga. Panchanga stands for the five limbs. These five limbs denote the quality of time. So, time at any moment of time, it has a quality, and those qualities are denoted by the five elements of Panchanga, namely the Tithi, Yoga, Nakshatra, Karana, and the Vara. When we study each of them, we understand what is there in store for us, what kind of activities become successful during this time, what kind of activities give us the money and the resources, what kind of activities will get support from the people around, and what kind of activities will last long. So when we study all these elements, we come to certain conclusions. We come to know that certain activities are conducive to for some times. Okay. So if I tell you briefly, then basically, if the vara or the day of the week is conducive to the activity, it will basically give longevity to that activity. Okay. If the tithi is good, it will give you sampada, it will give resources and wealth. Out of the result would be the wealth. If the yoga is good, it will bring support from the people around. And if the nakshatra is good, that means you will be able to overcome the obstacles which are coming while doing that task. And finally, the karana, if the karana is good, that means you will get success in that activity. Okay. So all these elements are important, but it all culminates to whether you get success or not. There is no point of having a long activity which is not successful. There is no point of overcoming obstacles if it is not successful. So in the end, the karana is the one that gives the karya siddhi, whether the result or nispatti of that thing, that activity, whether it is success or failure. So it is very important to study karana. Karana is very important from the natal chart also, at the time when you are born, what karan you are born with. Also, it is important if it is in the muhurta chart or in the transit chart. In the transit chart, whatever at that point of time, whatever karan is active, if you align your activities according to the karan which is active on that particular moment, you will basically ensure that you will be successful in that task at hand. Karna represents the earth element. All the five elements have correspondence with these five elements that I just now talked about. Out of all those five elements, Karna represents the earth. If you see, when the in the order of creation, earth was the element which was formed at the end of it. Okay, it all started with the consciousness. When consciousness densified, it became space. Space is the first element which represents yoga. when when uh, when space also condensed, the dense form of space, it became air. Air represents the nakshatra. When air became fire, because air kindles fire. From the fire is ruled by the vara or the day of the week. And from the fire came water. Water is Tithi. And from Tithi, from water element, came finally the earth. So out of five elements, earth is the one that came in the end. So you see, in this order of creation of these elements, earth is the final material essence. In the same way, whatever activity we do, we get support from the other people. We get some wealth, like that Tithi stands for the wealth. We overcome certain obstacles, and finally, in the end, what earth remains in our hand. That earth is actually the materialistic result, whether we were successful, whether we were deemed successful at that task or not. That's what karna is. So there are so karna is basically half of the tithi. Okay, so out of the 15 shukla paksha, 15 krishna paksha, 30 tithis, every tithi can be divided into half, like two karnas. Okay, and there are total 11 karnas. They keep on repeating throughout these 30 lunar days. Okay, there are total 11 karnas, out of which 7 is chara, movable, and 4 is sthira. So sthir karnas are always bad. They happen around the Amavasya and Pratipada time. And other karnas, they keep on happening like apart from Amavasya and Pratipada. Out of the char karnas or movable karnas, only Vishti karna is bad. Rest all are good. So first, let's talk about the Bava Karana. Okay. Now, before we delve deeper into Bava Karana, we can here are the list of questions that you can seek to get answered during this podcast. Basically, what you will gain out of this podcast, uh, what kind of uh, what kind of result you can expect. Like, first of all, you will understand in the Bava Karana what kind of activity you can perform. Okay, that's like a Muhurta application. Like at this point of time, what activity you can do, transit and Muhurta application. Okay, uh, at what point of time? So you are born with certain purpose in this life. Okay, and to achieve that purpose, you need certain knowledge, you need certain skills. So in your lifetime, at what point of time you'll achieve those skills, that also we can determine using Karna. So that we'll study. What is your style of working? Whether you are bossy, timid, or servile, what is your style of working? That we can determine from Karna. Okay. Now, what are the good omens when you are going to perform certain task? If you find certain things on the way, or if certain thoughts come in your mind, like how can you determine that those are good omens or bad omens for you? How to increase the chances of success. Okay, so now you have certain task at hand, you have certain you know the karana which is appropriate. Now you want to increase the chances of success in that activity. What you can do, your personality. Okay, how does your personality affected by the bhava, the karana that you are born in? That we can especially the personality when it relates to your work life. Okay, at your workplace, what kind of personality you will exhibit. So all these things we are going to answer in this podcast. So let's deep dive into it. So first is the bhava karana. Okay, bhava karana, first of all, to understand the personality that any karana or any nakshatra anybody imparts, we have to study who is the devata of this karana. Okay, who is the devata of this element? So for bhava karana, the devata is Indra. Okay, and he is in the sitting posture. Sitting posture, so karana also has a posture. Okay, it may be standing, it may be sitting, or it may be sleeping. Okay, so out of these postures they determine what is the extent of success. Okay, so if the devata is in the sitting position, that means it is moderately successful, like it is ordinary result. Okay, but it is sugar, it is not a bad it is not a bad karna. Okay, now to appease the devata, you can offer him rice, because in this for this karna he loves to have rice. Okay, so usually we don't find the temples of Indra, but if you do havan and homa, during homa we invoke Indra, and then we can offer rice to basically appease him. Now what based on the, if you know the personality of Indra, okay, we can understand what qualities will be imparted on the person with who is born in the Bava Karana. Okay, so Indra is the, he's the king of devatas. Okay, so he's very lordly, he's very rich and wealthy, and out of that richness and wealth comes the intoxication. Okay, he's intoxicated, he's enjoying he's relishing the success in the swarga, and apsaras are dancing, he's intoxicated. So that kind of rich and wealthy vibes you will see in these people. Okay, and sometimes even to they will basically discard the righteousness because they are too much into the power thing. Okay, It will also make them, he also has got the nature of being lustful. There are several stories in Puranas um, denoting his lustful nature. He has violated the wives of various saints. He's also well known to test the senses. Basically, whosoever is doing the tapasya, he will go and test their senses. So that kind of nature is also there in these people. Okay, generally they are happy and very commanding because he's the head of the army, he's the head of the devatas. Okay, so he'll be very commanding and bossy kind of thing. On the flip side, he'll be very lustful, and he could basically, to achieve his ends, he may be unrighteous for some time. Okay, now next is the Vahana. So Karna also has a Vahana. The primary Vahana is there, secondary Vahana is there. So this is useful in the symbology. So for Bava Karana, the Vahana is Singh, lion, and secondary Vahana is elephant. So if your vocation or your work is associated with lion or elephant, then you are good. You will basically be successful in that endeavor. If your vocation is not associated with them, then like if you are doing some business, then if your icon or business logo, they are associated with these animals, or wherever, if you feel like you have to choose between certain animals, then always go and choose lion and elephant over others. It'll signify success for you. You can keep the painting of these elephants at your workplace. So that way you can use this symbology. Okay, then again, the who is the every karna is associated with the planet. Okay, and for Bava Karna it is sun. So from sun you can determine one thing, that whenever in your Mahadasha, whenever in your Vimshoti Dasha, or whichever dasha is applicable to you, if the time of sun comes, then this is the time when you will get the skill and knowledge to basically fulfill the purpose of your life, because everyone is born with a purpose in the life. Nobody is born purposeless, but to achieve that purpose you require certain skills. At what point of time you will get it? When the time of sun comes. For the Baba people, if this time of sun is there, whatever skill, whatever activity you are doing over there, it will be used for fulfilling the purpose of your life. Okay, also sun can be used to decipher what kind of activities are suitable during this karana. When in the muhurta chart, if this is happening, then what kind of activities we can expect to do. So basically sun is associated with healing. Okay, so all the healing activities like giving medicine or giving herbs to a person. If somebody is in pain, then giving something, giving some herbs or some massage which will bring down his pain. That kind of activity is conducive over here. So any activity related to health, healing, and comfort would be applicable, would be conducive during this time. Then there is also a weapon associated with every karna. So uh, in the past time, it used to be more relevant. Uh, but for Bava Karna people, the weapon which is there is called Bhusundi. Bhusundi actually means the fireball or the missile that has fire. Okay, so basically, these people are good at using fire or fire related weapons on their enemies. So if they are going to a battle, then they will be very skilled in using these weapons. So but in the modern context, how we can apply this concept, because not everyone goes to war, it could be still applicable to certain commanders and commander in chief or even soldiers who are going to the battle. But for ordinary people, it could mean that if your vocation is related to fire, like you'll be very good at handling fire. That's what it means. Okay, so if your profession is anyway related to fire, then you will achieve success. Okay, now you can go and list down what all activities are related to fire. Like you can Google it, but generally, if the work is associated with fire, you'll achieve successful. Then every karna is also associated with the phase of life and certain cloth. Okay, So for Bava Karana, the phase is Bala, that is basically a kid. Okay. And the cloth is white and the ornament is gold. Okay. So one way to basically utilize this information is that if you wear white clothes or you wear gold, always gold, wear some golden jewelry on your body, it will basically be good luck to you. It will bring good luck to you. And the phase of life, Bala means if your vocation is related to some child, okay, like going and teaching to kids or doing something for kids, that will be basically that will mark success for you. Another interpretation is that in your action you may be seen as behaving like a child. Some childish decision or childish way of working is seen in your work. Okay, so even though you may be 70, 80 years old, people will feel like what kind of childish decision he's doing. So that is also seen in such people. Then finally, the other symbology, like what flower is associated. So you can keep panag in your balcony or wherever place you live, or you can use panag in your temples. Keep panag at your workplace. That will bring good luck to you. Anointment, the tilak that you apply on your forehead is kasturi. So kasturi is very auspicious to you. River Ganga. So if you go and bathe in Ganga, or if you keep Ganga Jal at your home, or if you put Ganga Jal or sprinkle on your head daily, it will bring good luck to your life. So I hope I tried my best to answer all the questions that we posed in the beginning. Thank you so much. We'll come back with the next Karna. Namaskar.